It's your boy Arthur Smitty, and welcome back to another video. And in today's video, I have the Flash review for you guys. Now, this movie, man, this is the movie that's been through a lot of issues, a lot of problems. This movie has been straight through hell and back. With Ezra going crazy and going ballistic. You have the movie getting delayed. I think it was supposed to come out in 2019 and ended up not doing. No, it was supposed to come out in 2018, end up not doing that because DC started going crazy and started doing they wanted to do the dceu. Then after that, it was supposed to come out in 2020. Then that didn't happen. Then it was supposed to come out again. Then James Gunn took over, and now it comes out in 2023. So this movie has been everywhere. Jeffrey Dean Morgan was supposed to be in it. Now we got Michael Keaton. So yeah, this movie has been all over the place. But I am curious to know what those other pieces did look like. But we're gonna review what we got here. I can't really talk too much about this without spoiling it because of course this is like somewhat like a No Way Home, where this is the most important stuff about the film is spoiling it. So I'm just tell you about the main stuff. Is it a good movie? Should you go out and see it? And the answer to that is yes. Yes, this is a good movie. I do think you should go out and see it. You should go out and see it. Yes, I do believe that. I do believe that. But I don't think, because I left the theater confused. I also saw this movie in 4D. I don't think that I was hoping it would get there. I was hoping it would be that. But I just don't see this is the best superhero movie of all time. Tom Cruise has to go and sent the email went to go see the director and tell him that this is a great ass movie. This is the best movie. Like, I don't see that. I didn't see any of that. Okay. I don't. Honestly, with the way like the CGI was looking and a couple of cringy moments, I mean, no. I actually thought, honestly, I thought this movie could either be really, really bad or it could be really, really good. It actually ends up being like right there, like right in the middle. Like it's like a little bit more above, but just right there. It's a really, really good movie. It's just a really good movie. What I can't talk about is, how like certain things, like the story and stuff like that. The story is pretty good. It really is pretty good. I don't hate the story. I think Ezra goes through a good arc in the film. Him and his younger self, they do go through an arc, even though at times Ezra in the film can seem very annoying. Ezra's Barry is it's like with Ezra in this film, I hated him, but I liked him. I liked him as Flash. Like I really liked him as Flash. He had his moments. He knew when to be goofy. He knew when to be serious. He knew when to be sad. Like he has all of that. But he does have his moments where he gets like very, very annoying and he just won't shut up and he just keeps being very awkward and weird. And then I start feeling awkward and weird when watching it. So yeah, like it's just little moments like that. But overall, I think Ezra did his thing. He did his thing. That's all that matters. As for Supergirl, I think she did fine. She doesn't really have that many moments in the film. She doesn't really have that many moments in the film. she really just what you see in the trailer, and then when you actually watch the film, she hits like certain beats. She hits certain beats, and she just ends up her performance ends up just being it's good. It's okay. It's not nothing over the top or spectacular. It's just good. It's not terrible. It's just good. Like I like her. I would have liked to see her again, but I don't know. I don't think this movie is gonna make like a bunch of money. So I don't know if I don't really see that. I think this might be her only outing as Supergirl. I don't see her coming back. I might be wrong. Might be wrong. I don't think because I'm pretty sure this is the last of the DCEU movies. Personally, I don't think they're going to do anything else, especially we got Aquaman. Well, after Aquaman, because now James Gunn is claiming that Blue Beetle is the first movie, even though I don't think that's a good idea. He should just start it off with Creature Commandos or just say Superman is the first DCU movie, but whatever. He must have seen Blue Beetle, and Blue Beetle must be really good. So hopefully that's that. But yeah, I don't see really any of these actors really coming back, especially once we get into spoilers and I explain what's going on. But Sasha, as Supergirl, I think she did fine. She did okay. She wasn't terrible. Really, the best part of the film is Michael Keaton. Like Michael Keaton's Batman is basically the film. He is the film. Whenever he's on screen, it's always a great time. Always a great time. The first time we're introduced to him, it is hilarious between him and the two Barrys. They're trying to talk to him, and he's just trying to beat them up. Like, it's just a great time. It's just a really good time with Michael Keaton. And then every time Michael Keaton has a moment, they play his amazing Danny Elfman theme. Like, his fight scenes are good, even though, and I'll get to the CGI a little bit more in spoilers because it really, I'm going to just say that this movie has a lot of moments with CGI, especially when running back in time, where the characters look like they look like non-fully rendered video game characters. They just look really bad. They look really, really bad. And especially when Ezra's doing his little, because he like runs like this, but he still kind of puts like the flare into it. And even in the movie at one point they make fun of him for how he is running because he loses his speed and then he just starts running like that. So yeah. But Michael Keaton, I mean, he's pretty good. He's pretty good. He's not bad. He's not bad at all. He's really the best part of this movie. Every moment of him in the film is great. I would definitely, if you're just going to see this film once again for Michael Keaton, it is worth it. It is definitely worth every penny just for him. And especially after seeing all the awkward and goofy Ezra moments, and then you see Michael Keaton Batman, it definitely gives you a break and a rest and a breath of fresh air whenever you see him. So I definitely, if you just want to see this for Michael Keaton, it's definitely worth it. Ben Affleck didn't really have that much screen time. I mean, I wasn't, he didn't really have, he really just has, you really only see him in the beginning. You see him in the beginning and then that's it. Like you don't really, once we get to that Flashpoint stuff, like you don't see him again. Like that's really it. You don't really see him again. I don't know if these really count. No, these aren't really spoilers because the trailer kind of gives you that, okay, these certain things are going to happen. These certain things are going to happen. That's why they're, and then like the TV spots kind of show you, okay, this is why this is happening. This is why this is happening. Because I know one TV spot, they even just straight up mentioned that he loses his speed. The original Barry loses his speed. And then you have where it's like, oh, Ben Affleck. Because they don't really show Ben Affleck that much in the trailers. They really only show Keaton. So I just, when going to the movie, it's just a given. Like, you just know, like, he's literally just in the beginning part, He does the whole, Barry, you should not do this. Running back in time is a bad idea, and then that's it. That's really it. We don't see him ever again. We don't really see him again. So that's really all that is. With other characters like General Zod and stuff like that. Once again, the CGI looks terrible. They didn't really, with certain characters like that, they didn't really. All I'm gonna say is, with certain characters, they didn't like bring them back. So it's just moments where the CGI, it just looks so bad. It just looks so bad. It looks like it just looks bad. It just looks like an early Xbox 360 game. Like, it just looks terrible. That's really it. What else I could say without spoiling? I could say the movie is very funny. In my theater, people were laughing a lot. Ezra is hilarious. I'm not even going to deny it. I'm not even going to lie to you. In my theater, everyone was laughing. Ezra Miller is hilarious. He is very funny and very goofy. Him bickering back with his younger and more unexperienced self is hilarious. Like, it has its moments where it's funny, like, very funny. I'm not even gonna lie. Sometimes the banter between him and Michael Keaton can be funny. The movie hits his beats. It hits his beats. It's really mostly just a little bit of moments with the because it's pretty much an average story. It's basically an average story. They pretty much are doing what like Into the Spider-Verse did, but just not as good. Like, if Into the Spider-Verse is right here, The Flash is like right here. Like, it's like right here. It's like a couple of things are missing that can make it go up here. So, but yeah, it was pretty much an average story. It wasn't, and I actually commend them. Like, some people are mad that, they didn't do the actual Flashpoint story, but I feel like, once again, like with the Batman and like Batman Begins, that's what you have the books for. Those movies take inspiration from stories like Batman Year One and The Long Halloween. And if you just wanted to watch those or see those, you either can read the books or you can watch the animated movies. Same thing with this movie. If you wanted to see Flashpoint, just watch the Flashpoint movie or read the books. Read the book. I mean, they're there, and they're both good. This story, I commend them for telling it. I mean, yeah, it did feel at moments like Michael Keaton was just used to get people into the seats. Yeah, of course. And yeah, it worked to some capacity, even though apparently this movie is losing money. It's not losing money. It's not making enough money. Which I feel like is mostly because of Ezra. I feel like that's one of the reasons why. Because of Ezra. Because the movie had a good background. They was literally just people saying the movie is the best ever. So I don't really, it has to be because of Ezra. I can't really see it being anything else. But yeah, that's pretty much it for what I have for like just not spoiling anything. The story is pretty good, pretty average, pretty good story. The action is good at times when the CGI is not bad. It's just, that's really the major problem. It's just the CGI, especially when you got both Barrys standing next to each other and they're like talking. It's just one of their faces doesn't look fully rendered because you could tell that this was like a stunt double and they was trying to have both of them at the same time. And you could tell when it's just one of them just looking at each other and they're just standing still by themselves, it looks fine. But most of the time when they wear the mask or it just looks weird. Their face just doesn't look rendered. It just looks fake. It looks terrible. And what blows me is that Andy, the director, he said that the CGI was intentional. And then I come to find out that I had a friend tell me that The only part that was, so I was thinking that, oh, maybe this was how it was going, like the whole movie CGI was supposed to look like that. It was supposed to look like a video game or a cartoon. Okay, maybe I'll cut you some slack, but then I was still like, why would you want to have bad CGI intentionally? That makes no sense. I think that's stupid. But then to come to find out from my friend that the CGI parts that were only supposed to look bad was the part where he's in the Speed Force running, Those are the only parts where he's supposed to look, where it's supposed to look like bad. So really, I don't know what's up with that. I really don't know what's up with that. I think either way you look at it, that's the CGI being bad is terrible. Like, that's a bad thing. You should not want bad CGI in your film. We should aim to get the best as possible. So yeah, but overall, minus the CGI, the story is pretty good, pretty decent. Ezra is good. Michael Keaton is good. Supergirl is good. Ben Affleck, for what he had, was good. So yeah, everything was pretty good, pretty decent. There's some nitpicks that could be said about it. And some pacing somewhere, but the story pretty much flows pretty well. I don't really have any like major gripes, but I don't think it's the best superhero movie of all time. No, I think that's an over exaggeration. I don't know what those guys were talking about. But if you go to this movie and you think that is perfectly fine. That is perfectly fine if you feel that way. I have no issue with that. But me personally, I don't see that general appealing. I just don't. So before we get into spoilers, the rating for the movie. Now, I think I gave Into the Spider-Verse a 9 out of 10. I gave it a 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. I'm just looking at based on these multiversal movies. I gave it a 9 out of 10 for Spider-Verse. 9 out of 10 for Across the Spider-Verse. I believe I remember saying I either gave Into the Spider-Verse an 8 or a 9 out of 10. Spider-Man No Way Home, I think, well, and this is like controversial. I personally would take this story over No Way Home story. I think it just flows and makes more sense. But that's not the point. The point is, with Spider-Man No Way Home, I think when I saw it in theaters, I gave it a 9 out of 10. But seeing it out of theaters, I gave it a 6 out of 10. So I gave it like a 5 or a 6 out of 10. Because it really doesn't hold up now. And hopefully when The Flash comes out on HBO Max, that it doesn't feel like that either. So I'm going to give The Flash a 7 out of 10. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10 based on all of that. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. I did see it in 4D. So if you were to see it in 3D or 4D, your rating might boost it maybe to like an 8. I don't think it's an 8. I think the highest we could go is like a 7.5. I wouldn't give it an 8. I would not give it an 8. The lowest I would say is a 6. I think a 6 is, I think either between a 6 and a 7. That's where it should be. It's not terrible. It's not terrible, but it's not really good. But it could have been a hell of a lot better. But it's definitely, I would say you should go and see it. I would definitely say it definitely was a great Father's Day type movie. I would definitely go and see it. It could have, once again, it could have been worse. It could have been better. But for what we got, it's pretty good. It's really good. I think, yeah. I don't think it was that good where Andy should be like, I saw where it said he's possibly going to direct the Breathing the Bold movie. I don't think it's that good, but I think it is good enough. It is really good. My final rating is a 7 out of 10. I think that is perfect. I think that is perfect. So, yeah. I'm about to get into spoiler territory. If you do not want to get spoiled, please leave now. I'm about to enter spoiler territory. So, if not, go watch the movie, come back, watch the spoilers. But if you are leaving, thank you guys for watching. I will catch you on the next one. Okay, if you still here, I'm about to spoil. I'm about to go crazy. So you better prepare yourself, because it's some good spoilers in here. Surprisingly. So I'm about to spoil in 3, 2, 1. Okay. Christopher Reeve is in the movie. Okay. Surprisingly, it's kind of funny. They gave every Superman. They even gave, and I'm gonna get to him. They even gave someone credit, gave someone the spotlight that I never thought was going to happen. I never would have thought of this ever. But then again, I was like, they did put Michael Keaton Batman in here, so it would make sense if they put him in there as well. But let me talk about Christopher Reeve. I kind of like that they showed us Christopher Reeve Superman, and they gave us Supergirl from the terrible old Supergirl movie. Her and Christopher Reeve are standing next to each other, looking through, kind of like how Doctor Strange's portal looks, but not exactly the same. They're looking through, and their world is like somewhat getting destroyed. I like that. That was cool. My only problem is everything with these cameos looks terrible. It looks terrible. The CGI looks bad. Yes, I know Christopher Reeve is dead. May he rest in peace. He is one of the best Supermans ever. I get that. But it just looks very bad. It looks like a video. It really looks like a terrible Xbox 360 game. It looks bad. But it's like, can I get mad at them for doing this? Like, I appreciate the thought. Like, I really appreciate the thought. You put Christopher Reeve in the movie, so you're technically saying he's still out there somewhere fighting. I appreciate that. But then it's also like, why did you make it look like this? So it's like, I'm gonna give it. For these cameos, I'm gonna somewhat give the CGI. I give somewhat a pass. But because I appreciate the thought of them adding all these cameos. And they don't just add Superman. They also have Adam West in there. It's like a brief clip by. They have the Superman. I forgot the old. Like, they have the Superman from like the 30s and the 40s. He's like black and white. They have that Superman. Yeah, they have a. I think we got another cameo from that the original Flash. Like, they got, it's like a couple of little mini like Easter eggs. You just gotta look and like see them when it like happens. When you see like the world, when the Flash, and I'll talk about the villain. Talk about the villain. We get to the point where Barry's about to try and fix everything. You'll just see all of these little mini Easter eggs and cameos. You'll just see all of them. And those were like the main ones I spot out. Maybe, dang. Maybe if I go back and watch it, I can probably see more. But from what I saw, like the main ones, those are pretty much the important ones that I saw. Now, Nicolas Cage's Superman is in here. Now, look, they do Superman justice. The only person they don't do justice for some odd reason, they don't do Henry Cavill justice, and they don't do Ray Fisher justice. Ray Fisher gets like a mention as the cyborg, a Terminator, and that's it. We don't get nothing of Ray Fisher. He doesn't even appear. You get a little bit of Henry Cavill. You get him when Flash was about to start the mission with Batman. He's on the phone. Flash is on the phone with Alfred, and he's like, "So, can you get anyone else to help? Where's Superman?" And Superman is out stopping a volcano, and you only see like, it looks terrible. It's like completely CGI. Like, it just looks awful of him stopping like a volcano. Like, that's really all it is. It's just him stopping a volcano, and you don't even see the front of him. You see like the back of him, and his cape is like floating, and he's like flying in the air. Like that's it. And then another segment is where you see Barry the Flash running back in time when he first starts to run back in time, and then you see Henry Cavill like from the first movie when he was shirtless and had his hair, and he's punching. I think he's either you have one more where he's kind of like punching Zod, and then you have him where like he's about to punch the Flash from like Justice League, and he's shirtless. He has no hair. He has the hair on his chest, and it just all looks so bad because it just looks like complete CG. Like it just looks so video. You get the point. The CGI is bad. It's bad. Okay, it's bad. Yeah, it just looks terrible. So those are the two little Henry Cavill moments, but technically he wasn't in the film. They never actually brought him back for this cut of the film. They never brought him back, but he's apparently has filmed scenes in the other cuts. Because when Black Adam came out, he had scenes because they was like, okay, we're bringing him back. Then the moment James Gunn was like, oh no, I'm recasting everybody. I'm starting over. They cut those scenes out. So I kind of wish we got those scenes, but it's like, what can you do? We're just never going to see them now. And it's like, whatever. With Nicolas Cage, it was actually surprising. I was actually kind of happy. So Nicolas Cage, he has this long, like mine, but longer, long flowing hair. And he's fighting a gigantic spider. I'm pretty sure with Tim Burton's vision, they had like him fighting Brainiac, and he had like these big like spiders that Brainiac created. And he's fighting this big spider, and he's using his heat vision, and he's blasting, and he's screaming and stuff like that. And just like that, it looks like a video game. I don't know why. They could have literally probably with these like, maybe with Nicolas Cage, you could have just had it animated, or you could have did something because the CGI for mostly all of these cameos and for like most of the fight scenes just look bad. But for just the cameos, maybe for like Nicolas Cage, you could have just did animated. But I'm thinking like, okay, I understand Christopher Reeve and I understand Supergirl. Supergirl, she's older, she doesn't look the same. Christopher Reeve, got you, he's dead. But Nicolas Cage he still looks pretty good. Why? Pause. So why you could have got Nicolas Cage to come on. I'm pretty sure he would have put the Superman suit on and like actually filmed this. Like I think he would have actually did this instead of you just getting his likeness and then trying to like create something. I think he would have actually like done this, but whatever. But either way, Nicolas Cage is happy because he's in the movie. His Superman is for real. His Superman is canonized. So technically his Superman did happen. It did happen. That version of Superman is out there fighting. So it did happen. So I'm cool with that. And I'm pretty sure Tim Burton's Superman would have been pretty interesting. Pretty crazy, though. Would have been interestingly crazy. So, yeah. It was nice to see Nicolas Cage. But once again, CGI just doesn't really work, you know. Yeah, and especially like with the fight scenes, like with Ben Affleck and all of that, like it just Ben Affleck and Michael Keaton, it just looks like you can tell that I want to see behind the scenes because they probably had a stunt double. But it looks like it just like with certain like arm movements, they just look fake. They don't look real. They don't look like they're actually there. But Michael Keaton's fight scene was still pretty cool. I still enjoyed it. All two or three of them. I love his scene with the Batwing, and he was trying to like stop. He's trying to stop one of General Zod's ships, and then something happens, and then he ends up having to stop General Zod's men, and he jumps, and then he ejects out the the Batwing, like all of his stuff was really cool. Once again, he is the best part of this film, the best part of the entire film. So now there's another one that I'm just really confused about. I found it funny. After once I got home, I just found it hilarious. I'm just like, okay. So George Clooney is in here. And what can I say? George Clooney is in here. And with George Clooney, it's just like, so technically by the end, Barry runs back, and the footage of he has the original footage of his father not being away from the house and didn't actually kill his mother, shows him in the market. And in original footage, it showed him not looking up. So him not looking up couldn't prove that he wasn't there. Couldn't prove that he wasn't at the house. Then when Barry finally gets back, the footage has been switched because he moved the tomato sauce once he went back to fix everything. So once he did that, he goes to the court. And his father gets set free because the footage has been changed. So now he can walk out, whatever, him and Iris, whatever. I didn't even mention Iris. We'll get to her. All I'm going to say about Iris real quick, she's just the love interest. Let's just say that. She's just the love interest. She doesn't do anything. Her actress was blah. She was just there. I totally forgot about her. She's there. She's just love interest. But anyway, he walks down, and then he calls Bruce, and clearly on the phone, Bruce sounds different. So when Bruce Wayne pulls up, it's George Clooney. And to me, we don't see him in the bat suit. We don't see no bat nipples, sadly. But me personally, I was kind of curious, a little curious. Because I was actually a little bit spoiled on this. But I'm actually curious because I'm like, if he's in George Clooney's Batman universe, I'm kind of curious. Because we kind of got what Michael Keaton was doing. I'm kind of curious what George Clooney's Batman has been up to all these years. I don't know. I kind of am like what has Chris O'Donnell's version of Robin, what has Alicia Silverstone's Batgirl have been up to? I'm really curious, as to, not saying I want a movie or a whole show or nothing dedicated to it, but I was a little curious, and it was a little funny to see him just pop up, especially when Barry's like, "Who the fuck are you?" Because we just got another Bruce Wayne, and it's kind of funny because George Clooney had an interview, and he was like, "I hope they don't call me back to be in the Flash." And then he ends up actually being in the Flash. So I just found that funny. But yeah, George Clooney, he's fine. As this little joke, I don't think he's coming back as Batman. Dude is 64. James Gunn wants a younger actor. So all of those people out there worrying that George Clooney is going to be Batman again, relax. He's not. Sadly, there's no Christian Bale in this movie, and there's no Grant Gustin. Apparently, Grant Gustin was in this movie, but he was in this movie, but his scenes got taken out because they didn't make sense within the story. And based on how the Flash TV show ends, it's understandable. I mean, I'm not going to talk about that, especially if people haven't seen that, even though we are in spoiler sections. But yeah, it doesn't matter. It just didn't matter to the story. It didn't make sense. So it's whatever. But with all of the fight scenes and all of the other characters, they didn't really bring back I feel like the only actual actors in the movie were Ben Affleck, Ezra Miller, Michael Keaton, Sasha, and Gal Gadot, and the dude that plays all the other extras in Alfred. Yeah, because the fight scenes, General Zod, he didn't really have much to do. I mean, and his face looks just as bad, especially with his minions and all that. Like they just look bad. They just because they didn't bring him back. They just used CGI for the face, and it just looks terrible. He doesn't have any cool dialogue. He doesn't scream or yell how he does in Man of Steel. Like he's just there. He's just there as the plot. And yes, I know the Flash is the title character, and this is his movie. But I mean, it would have been cool to see some more of General Zod and him talking to Sasha and him fighting her and having banter back and forth. But whatever. Wonder Woman makes a cameo as well in this movie. I mean, she's there. She makes a quick cameo. They do a little joke about Bruce and her, how Bruce still like loves her, but we're not going to see it because they're gone. These characters aren't coming back. So what the hell does it matter? The Lasso of Truth. They have a little joke with that. It's making them. Barry's like, I never had sex before. Like it's a little. It was funny. It was funny. It was really funny. The movie is funny. So it was cool to see Gal Gadot for her last performance as Wonder Woman. So really, the only person that didn't get any respect was Henry Cavill. I already knew Ray Fisher wasn't going to get respect because that whole thing with WB. So that's just gone. So I knew he wasn't going to show up. And Henry Cavill, they just hate his Superman. They don't care about his Superman. So let me get to the villain. Even though we knew who the villain was, but we didn't know who the villain was. With the villain, it's Dark Flash. They didn't do Reverse Flash. Dark Flash is technically the younger Barry. He was trying to fix, despite how the Spider-Verse would put it, a canon event. And so it's supposed to happen. He kept trying to fix this moment to save his universe, but his universe is suddenly going to die, which I don't like because that technically means Batman 1989's universe is dead. It's gone. I don't like that, but whatever. That's fine. I guess it's fine because they said that it's a possibility that there will be if this movie does good and they working to go with the original plan, that universe will come back, that they will go to another variant of that universe and those characters would come back and it would be a whole sequel and Michael Keaton possibly would get Batman Beyond. But I don't know if that's still going to happen. I would still like Batman Beyond to happen, but I don't know if that's going to happen. Please make it happen though, because Michael Keaton's getting old. I really want him to pass the torch to Terry. That would be. But anyway, Black Flash, not Black Flash, Dark Flash. Dark Flash is pretty much just the younger Barry turned evil and turned old from going back in time trying to fix it, and he kicks that version, our Barry, the original regular Barry, into that universe to stop him from trying to keep resetting because he keeps failing and eventually gets burned up and old and stale. And then in order to saving the universe, the younger Barry sacrifices himself when the Dark Flash technically kills himself, and then they evaporate, and then Barry runs back and fixes it, but then we realize he doesn't actually fix it because George Clooney is now his Bruce Wayne. Or George Clooney is now his Bruce Wayne, or we put it as Ezra went back to the wrong universe again. He went back to the wrong universe again, where he's now in 1997 with George Clooney, that universe. But I don't think it's ever going to get explained or resolved. So, because, this is basically it. I don't give a shit about Aquaman. This is the last movie. Aquaman is going to be terrible. But yeah, Dark Flash only really has like two or three scenes. Like he doesn't really. The whole part of the film is that Barry is his own villain, and him running back is a problem. That was the whole problem. He should have never done that. So, yeah, he is his own villain. So in that world, it's just doomed to lose. That's just how it's supposed to be. They're supposed to die, they're supposed to fail. Once again, I don't like that Michael Keaton's Batman has to die like that. Him and Sasha have to die, but I mean, if I don't really know how the Flash 2 will work, I don't think the Flash 2 is going to happen. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens after. No, it can't happen because unless James Gunn tries to pull the Flash, the Ezra, but I'm gonna be freaking pissed if they keep Ezra, but they got rid of Gal, Ben Affleck, and Henry Cavill. You might as well just scrap everyone. Jason Momoa said he's probably going to be Lobo. So it's like, if you're going to just scrap that whole universe, just go ahead and scrap it. Don't keep that. I would be pissed if you keep Ezra, but not everyone else. But yeah, Dark Flash, that's why I don't really talk about them. He really is just like Barry. So it's basically that's who the reverse or evil Flash is in the film. So yeah, Barry is his own self-enemy throughout the film. And it's just, he gets tortured through everything. And then eventually he just runs back. He just runs back in time and then fixes everything. Yeah, he just fixes everything and goes to a universe where George Clooney is now Batman. George Clooney is Batman. So that's really it for that. I don't know. I don't really know what to think of now. We gotta really just. I pretty much covered everything. Yeah, there's really nothing really else. Because mostly spoilers were just the cameos, then like Dark Flash with the berries and all of that. Yeah. Yeah, it's not really. Yeah. It just sucks that it kind of sucks how this is how all of this ends. They kind of ended off this universe in a good note, like in a good and funny note. Oh, I did forget something. There's an end credit scene. I mean, you can skip it. Don't stay in it. Actually, no. Don't even waste your time. It's just Aquaman and the Flash getting drunk. Aquaman and Flash run out. Aquaman falls to the ground in the puddle. Then Flash is trying to get him to go back to his place. Aquaman gives him one of his rings, and that's how it ends. Excuse me. It's just a stupid little credit scene. But I kind of understood it because it's like, well, they can't really do any cool credit scenes or like to build up something next because these movies really don't matter anymore. They're kind of just there. They don't really count for anything. They're just there. So it really doesn't make a difference whatever you show. Even if you show something that would have happened, kind of like how when Zack Snyder's the Snyder Cut, you saw Martian Manhunter come. None of that shit really matters. You can show us that, but we know we're never getting to that. So we're not getting to that. So, and at least in that universe. So, it's kind of whatever with that. But yeah, that's really, don't stay for that credit scene. It's not worth it. Leave the moment the movie is over. Don't stay for that. It's a waste of time. You can wait till it comes on the Max. My bad, not HBO. And then you can watch it. But yeah, I don't really know. So Blue Beetle is now the first. That's the first DCU movie. So we only got Aquaman, and then I guess that So then you got Aquaman next. I mean, I guess I'll be looking forward to that. I think this is the best we're gonna get out of this DCEU. I think really they should just cancel Aquaman and just ended it with this. But yeah, we got Aquaman still, and I don't know if Ben Affleck or Michael Keaton are still going to be in that movie. So it's whatever. I think Ben Affleck is probably back in it, but it don't matter. So it's because that universe is gone. So this universe is gone. So we'll just just look forward to what's to come of in the future. Once again, this movie was pretty good, really good. 7 out of 10, same rating. Yeah, go out to the theaters whenever you have a chance to see it, or just wait till it comes to the Max, I hope you guys enjoy this video. This was my non-spoiler and spoiler review. If you are still here, I will catch y'all on the next one. Peace.